Hey everyone, Heather Steves here, and today I want to share with you a fun travel layout that I created. So for this layout, I made a design in Design Space. I utilized a You Are Here cartridge and Plantain School book for the cityscapes, and then I pre-cut everything out. So I chose the Close to My Heart You Are Here papers. Those are retired now, but I had a huge stash of them for this trip that I wanted to scrapbook. And I chose the map layout because our photos are actually of us kind of walking around and exploring the city. So I thought that suited it very well. And one thing that you'll notice about this is that I have these gray pages for my backgrounds, but you don't end up seeing this. So I wanted to stretch my paper as far as I could. And so these are just older retired colored cardstocks that I'm using for my base, and then I'm covering them up with all of my fancy paper so that I don't use as much of it as I would normally. So when I was choosing my cardstock colors for these cityscapes, I really thought that the darker color in the background would make more of a shadow type effect, and I'm happy with how that turned out. So now I'm just working on the placement of my photos. I'm placing them across this gray band in the middle, but I am trying to give it a bit of randomness. So I'm just jogging them up and down, but I want to create a bit of a sense of balance. So as I'm attaching this third photo here, I kind of playing around with where it goes. And then I decided that I actually wanted it to be on the same line as that first one on the far left. So I'm just lining those up nicely. And then again, on the right side page, I will create some more different randomness there. So now I'm moving on with the right half of my layout, and I'm just attaching my pre-cut papers to the background page. And what I'll do is I'll just skip ahead so that you see that as it's completed. So now that all my papers are attached, I'm going to go ahead and play around with the placement of the rest of the photos here. So I'm just kind of laying them out randomly, and then I'm going to figure out the exact placement kind of as I go. And again, just creating that randomness, it kind of creates some movement and some flow across the pages and just makes everything really flow nicely together. So sometimes I find when I'm doing the 12 by 12 layouts and you have a full 12-inch piece that goes across, that it doesn't always line up exactly. So I just did a quick little trim on the edges of both of these so that everything's nice and neat and even. So now that I have all the other photos attached, I'm just going to play around with this 4x6. I wanted to mat it just so it would give it a little bit of a pop and an accent. So I'm playing around with some different colors. And then I end up taking the peach. So there is a little bit of peach in the map paper. And it actually really worked out well. Even though peach is a little bit pinky for me and it's very masculine and boy layout and lots of blues and, greens and grays, this peach color actually just really makes it pop, and I think it really gives a really nice touch to the layout. So since I decided on the peach to accent that photo, I decided that I would use the peach in a few other areas as highlights and to kind of tie everything together. This paper pack came with a coordinated sticker sheet. So I had this one sticker for my title. I ended up bordering it with this little fancy die cut that I had in my stash. And then I wanted the pink to stand out, the peach to stand out a little bit more. So I took the brown and I've just kind of layered it underneath there using my border punch just to give it a little bit more definition. So now that it's matted with the brown and I put it up on my layout, I wasn't really happy with the brown at the top. So I ended up pulling it off and trimming that piece down just so that it's going to stick out at the bottom, kind of like a shadow, mimicking the shadow in the cityscape. And then I'm kind of second guessing my placement, but of course I go back to my original here, and then I add some foam tape just to give it some extra dimension. So now I'm just going to add some more embellishments to my layout to finish it off. So I'm doing a few different things here. I'm taking some stickers from the sticker sheet. I'm adding the anti-static pouch to the back, and that takes the stickiness away from the sticker so that I can put foam tape on it, and then the outside of the sticker, like the edges, won't kind of get stuck accidentally to my layout because I've added the anti-static pouch. So I'm doing that. Putting the foam tape on, and then I'm kind of clustering things a little bit. But in addition to that, I'm also mixing the material of my embellishment. So I'm adding these wooden hearts, and you can see me, I'm just kind of playing around with the placement of things. Some of the rules for embellishments and clustering are groups of 3 or odd numbers. So you see with those 2 hearts there that I'm working on now, even though there's only 2, the title kind of is the 3rd item in that cluster, and then over there where I'm adding on the left page now the other hearts, although it's not 3, I have 3 stickers and then I have 2 of the wooden hearts, and so that creates an odd number, which is also very pleasing and just adds some really nice touch to the layout. Now down at the bottom corner, so again kind of in a rule of 3, I'm creating 3 different clusters, which helps your eye to flow through the layout, and creating them kind of in triangles makes it a little bit easier. So while it's not like a really true triangle, if you draw lines from each of those, you would create a triangle. And then I'm adding my 3rd item to this little cluster down at the bottom by cutting a little piece from a zip strip. A few words there. I'm adding the dovetail, some foam tape, and then that is the last finishing detail for my layout. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos in the future. Have a wonderful day.